Relax.
Yeah. It takes a while.
Mm.
You're joining me from mobile phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, correct. I noticed. I was talking to for the rest of you who join us. It's okay. We haven't started, so I was just sharing that. Um, I noticed that there tends to be more problem if the 2% or 3% joining in the same live are joining from two different systems.
Mm. Yeah.
That means it's preferably that both join from desktop or both join from mobile.
Yeah.
And usually when one is from desktop, one is from mobile, and then something will happen.
Oh, no. Actually, when they just launched it, I think like a couple of weeks ago, it wasn't even possible. If one person was joining from desktop and the other one from mobile, it didn't work.
Yeah, correct. When I go on live, I always prepare both because I don't know which one the other person is coming in from.
Yeah.
So just in case, I just make the switch immediately. So that was very interesting. And then now that they have added the share screen, I think it added a new dimension of what you can do with live. I think that would be interesting. Okay, hi everybody, welcome to the. If you have been with me, you know that I've been crazy over from January to June about this first digital dollar project. Then I uh I will we'll talk about this again, but it's mainly to we focus on the fact that while the whole internet is talking about how they earn 10K a month, 20K a month, 50K a month, I want to bring the focus back to solopreneurs earning their first digital dollar. I think that is very important because for those of you who have not yet earned your first digital dollar, or you find it difficult to consistently earn a revenue online, I want to tell you that you are not alone. Faith, Claudia is with me. We have many other sovereigns before this life, and then all of them share their fair share of problems, their struggles, and stuff like that. And yes, and today's guest, very interesting. She started on Medium. Uh, she earned 4 cents. If you read the post, that's definitely something I'm going to ask you later. Okay, and she moved to Substack with zero audience, and in 3 months, uh, after 3 months, she posted one honest note, and then immediately 2% subscribe, right? And then they are with her for 2 years, and then fast forward to today, right? Claudia here already has 14 plus thousand subscribers, and congratulations, your recent post about you ranked number 5 in Rising in
Thank you.
international,
Mhm.
and then and she has been consistently helping creators, especially people in Substack, to grow their audience, build communities, and then online. So please welcome Claudia. Thank you for coming. Please say hi to everybody.
Yeah, thanks. I mean, it was a very nice introduction. Yeah, I think I'm happy to be here, happy to talk to you. It's the first time we talk, and so that's always a very cool thing about Substack, that it brings together new people, and otherwise you would probably like never cross paths with. So
Yes.
yeah, I think this is exciting.
All right. So I think so for those of you who are here, you see Claudia, you know Claudia for sure. Most people know her more than you know me. I'm very sure that. So but you haven't read her post about how she earned her first digital dollar. Please go and check out her post in Solopreneur Code. It's very interesting. We go back to the 4 cents.
Mhm. Yeah.
So what happened to the 4 cents? What was the story about in Medium?
Yeah, I mean, so I feel like everybody who's writing online right now, they know about Medium, I mean, if you don't know about Medium, Medium is basically this huge blog platform where people can go post their stories, and you get paid by the amount of readers that you get. And I think in the and how many people go, and how long they stay on your article, and how many get how many people read your stuff. So I think, and especially a couple of years ago, so I started my entire solopreneur and online writing journey 2 years ago. I've been on Medium like longer though. I started reading, really just consuming Medium, like I don't know, like almost 10 years ago now. And I've always read those stories about, people who write online, make it their living, and I found it so inspiring. And I always had this dream of like, okay, I have to start writing on Medium. I really want to. And then 2 years ago, I'm more of a actually classical entrepreneur. So I have a startup in Germany. I raised capital for it, but when 2 years ago we had to slow down a little bit because we were waiting for clinical trial results, etc. And it finally gave me time to really push forward to my own dreams and write online. Um, and so I started doing that, and I started writing on Medium. And on Medium, especially 2 years ago, it wasn't even that hard to get to earn your first dollar or your first cents. And I remember I
Oh, I
posted.
wish I were in your shoes.
Ah, well, I'm not saying like it was hard it was hard to earn a living with it, but I feel like the first cent or the first dollar was actually fairly easy. And so I wrote a couple of articles. I was very like frenetically like writing every day. And then fairly soon, my first article brought me 4 cents, and then I brought my first dollar for it. But it was not super, super meaningful to me. I don't know, because everybody always said, my husband also, he said like he was very cheering me on, but he said, hey, it's actually not so easy to earn your first dollar on the internet. And so I wrote my Medium articles, and then I thought it was actually quite easy back then. I think now it changed, but I think back then it was fairly okay. So I did that, it happened, and 4 cents turned into a dollar, and that's my Medium story because that's also kind of where I stopped with Medium.
What made you ex were you one of those, I think just last year there's a exodus of,
The
of writers,
the what? What is
exodus of writers. Everybody just left Medium and come.
no, yeah, I can call myself a first mover there because I basically stopped writing on Medium after earning my first couple of dollars because it's also I realized okay, the first dollar was easy, but then if you really wanted to scale it, I felt I somehow on Medium I was a little bit disappointed because okay, you can get readers, you get bots writing answers to you, you can create your own bots reading your things. I don't know, there's so many things you can do, but what I was missing was a lot of the connection to my readers. And I think their Medium just really didn't set it up in a way now that Substack does, where you can connect with your readers, with other writers easily. I've never found that, I don't know, particularly easy there. And then at the
Yeah,
same time, I read writers. So for example, David McIlroy, who's also on Substack, or Tim Denning and all those big people. And they said back then already, that was 2 years ago now, they said if they had to start from absolutely zero, with no social media, with no email list, with nothing, they would not do it on Medium. They would do it on Substack. And I was like, yeah, I'm at zero. I'm starting my journey completely new. So that's what I do. That's what I did. So I went to Substack. Failed because I didn't like the setup of Substack in the first week, so I disappeared. But then I gave it another try and liked it and sticked around, and I'm very happy I did.
when you come to Substack, was was what you're writing now, the genre that you're writing now, was that the immediately the first thing you decided on?
No, that was also a journey for me because I tried different things. I mean, I started writing about like things like okay, designing your life because I have a design thinking background and I really wanted to get people more into the idea and inspire people to design the life that they really want and need. So I started writing about that. I wrote about traveling because at that time I was traveling in a camper van through Europe. About digital nomadism because I've been a digital nomad for the last couple of years. And so I tried out a lot of different things, but at the same time, I've always kind of documented my writing journey and I also wrote about that. And I felt that it was the easiest for me to connect over with people. So I kind of stuck with that and then branched it out a little bit to my other publication. Now I have two, um, which was more into like business and entrepreneurship. And now that turned more into AI. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's constantly changing and evolving. And I think that's also somehow what I stand for. I don't think you should only have one niche and write about only that. Just write about what, what works, what brings you fun, what makes you reach your goals and dreams.
Mm. Okay, so since you are the expert in the
Mm,
subject, so expert enough to give me advice. I hear you. The part whereby we should write about multitude of stuff. If you have two newsletters and these two newsletters are completely worlds apart, opposite of,
yeah.
like there's zero link at all. Because if you talk about you talk about growth and then you talk about AI, you still can link AI and growth. Is I mean
Mhm.
can mix them together. But let's say
Yeah.
you are talking about um astrology
Mhm.
and 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 food.
Yeah.
Right. So if I have this case, do you advise the viewers here to create a separate profile or have
Mhm.
the same profile but two publications? Because what I notice is your notes gets confused because now your notes you represent your profile has two types of notes, right? Then it
Yeah.
gets confusing. So what's your best advice if you have any
Yeah.
experience?
Yeah. I think it depends really because if you have, what did you say, astrology and food as
Food,
as like
food
food.
blogger.
Okay, okay. Yeah. So I would say if you have already, I don't know, like 1,000 people subscribe to your astrology platform for wherever you've built that up. And then you have 20,000 people on your food platform. And now you decide just to bring it over to Substack and make it on Substack kind of your home. And then I would say maybe it makes sense because you're not starting from zero to have like two separate profiles on it. If you're starting out from zero on Substack, then I would not advise you to start with two different profiles because it's hard enough to grow like your profile, your one publication, and then turning that into a second one where you need to log out, you need to log in. I i i just i don't think that's a good idea. Because at the end people will subscribe to you as a person and that's your brand, and if your brand is astrology and food, then people are gonna like either of that, but they're gonna like you as a person, and then that's your voice and your brand and that's who you are and what you like to write about, and then they can subscribe to either publication. But I think the first part is always like, hey, they're gonna like you as, you're your own brand. Um, and I think if you create two different profiles, you're kind of taking that huge uniqueness and opportunity away. So I would say just, write notes about food, write notes about astrology, maybe mix it up week by week. But at the end of the day, I think people will be smart enough to subscribe just to the one topic that they actually are interested in.
Mm, mm. Yeah, because my only concern, not as if I'm relating food and astrology, but but I wanted to set up another publication, but I was thinking, should I have another profile, because the my notes will confuse my followers. As you know by now, our followers count is always about double our subscribers count, about there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then if for example, now I have about 5,000 plus subscribers, then naturally I have about 10,000 followers. Then the 10,000 followers, they'll get confused. Hey, how come Anthony is posting about this topic and then the next minute he's posting about another topic? So that's only my main concern. But I agree with you, logging in and out, changing profile, I think is a hassle. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and see, I mean, also seeing here what Mark Schulz commented, people who are diverse are much more interesting to listen to. I really think, and especially with, yeah, and especially with AI now out there. I mean, I use AI a lot. I love AI, but I really think that's what can make you special. If you have two passions and say astrology is one and food is another, then that makes you so much more interesting than just saying, like you're that one person who writes about astrology all day long, or I don't know, so I really think you can make it kind of, you can twist it to be your strength.
Yep. Great. Thanks, Mark. Anyway, all right. So, there's this. So, in your post, you stated that there's a note that you posted, and then you wrote it because you needed to hear it yourself, right? So that's the one that actually went slightly viral or stuff. And I also noticed that you are very prolific in your notes. Most of your notes get very very high engagement and stuff like that. Is that one of the secrets that you use for like writing for yourself first? Is that something that you embrace it in terms of writing notes?
Your question is if there's something that I am. What's your question?
Writing for
Sorry.
yourself. Writing for yourself first. Is
Yeah.
that what
Ah.
is that
Yeah. Yeah.
your
Yeah.
thought processes?
Yeah. Yeah. I would say so. I mean, honestly, my take on notes is I so I have a little bit of a twist of like I share what comes to my mind because oftentimes, I feel like what I think. So right now, for example, I think that Substack is changing the algorithm a lot. I mean, in terms of Substack lives, but also in terms of how you're discovered on notes and so on. Um, and like I see it in my numbers, and I think if I see it, then other people see it. So the last few days, I just started saying, writing notes about that I've been here long enough now on Substack to know that that's normal. It's part of the platform changes. Substack is still a startup. They're still trying things out. Um, so that's kind of things that I write for myself, but then I also think like others are interested in it. I try to write motivational things about kind of my journey, what has worked, what hasn't. And then also really about, myself. So I think the last couple of days I actually posted pictures of me working in different places, just kind of trying to give people a glance also into my life, who am I and what I do and write about, because I think that's yeah, it's just interesting for people to understand, to see that you're a real person behind all of those words.
Great. Do you use AI for for most of your notes?
Sometimes I would say it's a good mix. Um, I yeah, I mean, if I do more educational content for notes, then I use AI. When I do more personal takes, like a picture of me, and I mean, then
Yeah,
yeah,
especially
sometimes
those pictures that you take from your green
yeah,
scenery.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't, I mean, so that's the thing. English is not my first language, right? So I sometimes I write something and then I ask AI to make it sound more professional or more like, like a native speaker. So that's also happening. But I think like in terms of only using I mean, I maybe for educational notes that I do. Yeah.
Okay, so now bring us back to the two person who become your first paid subscribers.
Yeah.
What changed after you saw the two paid subscribers? Your mindset, your did it worry you, or you were like, oh shit, what am I supposed to do next? Or yeah, you feel
Yeah, no, it didn't worry me at all. I was just really excited. At first, I thought it's a mistake because I thought, yeah, because they both came at the same time, and I was like, well, that can't be true. And they both signed up for an annual subscription also. So I don't know. It was really cool. To this date, I still remember the two people who they were. They both renewed their subscription annually, so that's also nice. So they stick with me. Um, and it was so I started my Substack in May 2024, and they both came in August. So really, exactly 3 months in, I had my first two paying subscribers on Substack. So for everybody who's new on Substack, really trust the process. It took me 3 months from zero to posting everyday notes, twice a week an article, and it got so little interaction. Like it was really, really lonely, but I kind of just make it through the tough part. And yeah, and then those two paid subscribers showed up. And funnily, so back then Substack didn't have statistics for notes, so I cannot 100% tell you that they came from that one note, but I think they did. And that note basically said like, don't worry about paid subscribers; they will show up at some time. You just have to continue showing up and writing. And that note somehow I think inspired them, and then they became my first paid subscribers, ironically.
Did it change how you write, how you write your posts, how you write your notes? Did it change your operational stuff? Like,
You mean in the
oh, now I have paid subscriber, maybe I should write more, you know? Did it occur to you or
after that happened, you mean?
yeah.
Yeah. Um, hmm. I don't remember precisely. I do think, when that happens, you're thinking like, yeah, that's maybe you should write more content like that. Um, I don't think I at that point in time, I don't think I analyzed it that much. I think I was just very happy and then focused on delivering what I could for them. Yeah, and just kept on writing notes like I did. So I think I didn't change a lot after that.
Yeah, it was an interesting thing because when I first got my very first paid subscriber, that was like maybe September 2024, I think so,
Mhm.
or October. Um, I remember my first thought was like, oh no, can I live up to their expectation? You know,
Yeah.
and the retention is a problem. Will they continue to sign up? So what must I do next? Should I continue? So
Yeah.
1,001 thoughts went through my mind at that point of time. So I want
Yeah.
to check.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like luckily I did before I turned on paid. I really like kind of thought through the value proposition that I would offer. And I had like like they would get access to my Substack course, they would get access to a few things. And so I felt like, hey, at least I have things in place that I promise and that I can deliver now. Um, and then also I think don't be afraid to have people like take them on the journey with you. I mean, I changed my paid value proposition like I think like at least 20 times. And it's okay. I mean, people are not going to be like, ah, you said this at the beginning. Like nobody tracks them. They're just happy to, at least I feel like in most cases, to follow along. And if they're not anymore, then they're going to cancel their subscription, which is also fine because people come and go and maybe you offered something valuable for that part of their journey. Then maybe later on it's not as important anymore. So yeah, I feel like I know that there are a lot of people scared to sign up paid, to turn on paid, and then kind of like you be like, oh no, what do I do now? But I think people are actually more excited to just be part of your own journey too.
Yeah. Speaking of which, when you say you edited your or you change your paid um the wordings, right? Then I like it how Substack forces you to just write two or three things.
Yeah, yeah,
You cannot write anymore. So it
yeah,
forces you to really condense the value into three
yeah,
lines.
yeah. Yeah, it's super helpful. I actually also think so. It makes you really think like, okay, what are the three core values that you want people to
Between
get
the
out
paid
of.
and the free. Is it?
Yeah, yeah. It's I think it's great. It makes people like get a good starting point. Yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of us will just write 20 lines of stuff.
Yeah, yeah. No, true.
Yeah.
Do
So,
you want to address some questions actually that we get, or how do you like to?
oh yeah, we can answer some of the questions. I think mostly for you.
Uh,
Wait, let
okay.
me see. I think it's Silla. She asked, is it true that if you turn on paid, Substack pushes more out your content because it is more beneficial for the Substack? Um, what's your take? I have
Yeah.
my own take as well.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, my take is that it's not true at this point. I do think it could change in the future. That's also what I always tell my audience because there are just too many people. And I think one of the biggest one is Wes Pierce. He writes Escape the Cubicle, and he's awesome. I love him. He's very big on LinkedIn and on Substack. Um, but he doesn't turn on paid. So he really just writes, and then he offers like products, but like out of those products, Substack doesn't make any money. And he grew a lot over the last years. So I think he's a great example of that Substack right now is not pushing out content from paid people more. But having said that, I do think that's an option they might change in the future. So I think it's wise for you to turn it on at some point.
Yeah, I think I agree. I've seen all the datas. I think as of now it is everybody's quite on the even ground. However, such that being a company, end of the day, they only value writers who give them value back. And
Yeah,
if I don't turn on my page, I'm not valuable to them
yeah,
because they
yeah,
cannot earn anything from me, right? So
yeah,
in order to make yourself valuable to them, there's only one way: you have to turn on page.
yeah, yeah,
Right? So it's a
yeah.
equality, I think.
Yeah, you never know. Also, I mean, it could also be that they find other ways to monetize it, that they say, okay, maybe writers are not the biggest cut. Maybe they start putting ads on the platform. It's an opportunity, like an option as well. Hopefully not, because I think everybody loves that there are no ads on Substack. But yeah, in the end, they raised a lot of money from venture capitalists and they will want to have their returns. So yeah, you never know.
Yes. Right. So you do have to put paid as a consideration. There's no way you can escape from this. I mean, end of the day, Substack is a company,
Yeah.
and they to them is profit is everything.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
We had another question. Yeah, Chris
Yes.
told you first. Hi, Chris. That elaborate on how the algorithm is changing for Substack Lives when you get a chance. I mean, I don't know if you've noticed, but yeah, I like 2 weeks ago or so, I had a Substack Live with Philip from Brightfield Scale, and we've reached 1,000 people watching, and that was wild. Like we said, like, okay, this is crazy. This has never happened. Then the next day there were like 400 people watching. Then the next day 50 or 90 or something. So. And my community tells me exactly the same. It's just wild. I think right now they're experimenting, they're seeing what works, what doesn't. They've had this deal or like with Apple TV and like I don't know if it's live yet. I don't know where people can actually watch this. But yeah, so I think they're just trying things out right now for the lives.
Yeah. I personally think that is a mess. There's no guarantee because some of my life I hit 300, 500 viewers. Some of my life like today I'm at 56.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but don't get discouraged. Even if you have two or five, I think just do it because I think live is very effective because Substack is pushing out live like strongly. So
Yeah,
if you are doing live, you will appear in the feed of your non-subscribers and non-followers,
yeah,
right? So it is so that's really for discovery, for them to have a chance to listen to you and decide whether they want to subscribe to you or follow you. I think just do it. I think it's something that is worth doing. Of course, subjected to whether your personality suits doing live or not. I struggle with live when it first started. I cannot talk in front of the camera. I'm not too sure about Claudia. Yeah,
no,
I'm
same. Mhm.
a
Yeah,
persistent introvert.
yeah, same. Yeah, it's part of pushing yourself. And it's better than so it works better than you think. I feel like a lot of writers are also introverts and a lot of people are shy in front of the camera, but I'm surprised how much easier it is than I thought it would be.
Yeah, so I think is bottom line is just do it. That's what
Yeah,
I
yeah.
I remember
And
my first few. I remember that I will have one live that I only had three viewers. So I was like,
yeah.
should I just off it and then just go?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that happens. I think I've done one of my lives I've done only for paid people, and it's not like that I have a million paid subscribers. So it was very thinking like, oh, I don't know if anybody will show up, but then I got actually I think like 5 or 10 people showing up, and I was very happy with this. I mean, at the end of the day, like it doesn't really matter if people show up or not. Just have fun, and then you can use the clips, the recordings. Like it's really nice to, yeah, just
Yeah,
just do it.
I also give advice to some of my subscribers because some of them were like, "Oh, I run out of ideas to write." Then you say you do a live, oh, because then you post the live. The live is a you can post it out.
Yeah, 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 for sure. And then people also, I mean, I love it when people interact and ask questions, and then it's also just a different way again to connect with people. So, uh, yeah. Actually, I wanted to quickly address on two topics because people ask about notes, whether notes or posts are better, and then also what time to post notes. Um, I think it depends on your journey. I think in the beginning, your notes will help you be discovered more than your article. So yeah, focus on writing notes in the beginning, but have like a couple of articles up so people, if they check you out, they see like what you write about. That would be my recommendation. And then in terms of times, when to post notes, I would say check out where most of your subscribers come from. You know, in Substack, you can check your settings, and then you go to your to
Stats.
I don't, yeah, to what? Ah, to stats, exactly,
Yeah.
to stats,
Just
and then
they can see the global situation, which country they are from.
exactly. Yeah. And so we try to optimize for that. For me, most 50% of my people come from, are in the US. So notes that are posted like in the morning US time do well for me, but also in the afternoon. So I think it's less important when exactly you post that. That's my biggest, I think especially in the beginning, don't worry so much about timing.
Yeah, I think notes is fairly safe because I mean you definitely felt it. The longevity of the notes is extremely long. It stays around in the feed for a really really long time as compared to X. X you can post something and it's gone by noon.
Yeah. Okay. I've never been on X, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's horrible. It's horrible. People forget we are existent in X, but but in sense
So,
that I realized that the notes stay very long in the feed. I still have people liking my note. Just this morning, I saw my note from September 2025. I was like, wow, someone still like it.
yeah.
That's what longevity is there. The one trick that I have for those of you is that when I first started, I don't know what time to post. So what I do is I went to stats, like what Claudia said. I went to stats, copy the global, how many percent is from US, how many percent is from UK. I copy and paste the whole thing into ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT that these are my target audience. It's the best time for me to send them based
Mm.
on global research, blah, 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 and then they will recommend the ChatGPT will recommend certain timing for you to send. After you send up, you should always do the testing. Sometimes you send at this time, second time you send at another time, and then you compare and see which one gives you a better opening. I think that's my recommendation. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, so these are good ways to use AI. Don't always think of AI as bad. There are a lot of use when it
Yeah.
comes to AI.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So, Claudia, there's one. You mentioned you post for 3 months. And you describe it as an empty room in the post, which was like okay, that means zero, like a black hole.
Yeah.
So, what kept you going during like month end of month two? Like because it's like a endless tunnel. You don't know. There's no light. How do you
Yeah.
feel? What kept going?
Yeah. I think I don't know. See, at those points, I wish I would have documented my journey even more because now looking back, it's kind of hard to say what I thought at that point. But I feel like what I've done is I connected just with other writers. So I really, I mean, yeah, you comment back on comments for you interact, you follow. I know what I did in the beginning is not. I followed a lot of people, you know, like not subscribe, but actually follow them, and that helped me just get more interaction with people and then really try to make your suffering less lonely because there are other writers who also suffer out there. So really connect with them, talk to them in DMs, talk to them in comments. Something that I've done right from the beginning is really for every single subscriber, I sent them out a direct message. And that's helped because it just makes you feel connected to people. You're less, even though your articles and notes might be writing into the void, but you at least connect with people in the messages. Um, so yeah, that's what that's what I did and recommend people to do.
Yeah. So yeah, I totally agree with you. And have you noticed that in Substack there's a seasonal. Sometimes there's a drop in your subscriber, and then sometimes it suddenly go up very high. Do you
Yeah.
notice that? Do you notice?
Yeah, I mean that's also what I think like is partially because of like algorithm changes. I really think they change things all the time, and then it's like I don't know, it depends like how many subscribers you get. Yeah. So I think that's that's just how it is.
Yeah, because sometimes when I look at it, I say I didn't change how I do everything. My every week is the same.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I post the same amount of notes and the same roughly the same time. Then how come my sometimes my subscriber jump and sometimes my subscriber like negative? So
Yeah.
I,
Yeah. No,
it's
it happens.
really confusing.
Yeah.
Right.
Um,
So and then you also mentioned that building in public shows means showing confusion and failures too. Uh do you want to share what are the uh stuff that you are building in public?
yeah. I mean,
Everybody knows you Coursera.
yeah.
So that's one thing everybody knows.
Okay.
Any other stuff, interesting stuff that you're building in public?
Um, I mean, I don't know if building in public. I mean, I feel like my entire subject is like building in public, but I mean, right now, what I think so I just asked my community actually, because what you said before is, I write about writing in Substack, but then I also write about AI, and somehow they go together, but somehow they also don't go at all together. So there are a lot of writers, especially creative writers, who write poetry or memoirs or so. They hate AI and rightfully so. Like I'm not here to tell them that they are wrong. Um, I and so 2 days ago I asked my community like, hey, I'm actually thinking of sharing as a product to buy my writing setup with Claude Code, where it really makes it easy to post articles. It creates automatically an image, the SEO description, the meta text, and so on. And yeah, and it's really 50-50. So kind of trying to just get the community feedback of whether they would like it. Some would love it, some would hate it. Um, so yeah, and I think that's something I'm trying to build more in public, just really getting people's opinion of what they would need, what they wouldn't need if they, yeah, like it, hate it, whatever.
Right. So one of your method is clearly like what you say. So you just ask in your own chat, right?
Yeah,
Ask them. So that's particularly talking to subscribers because subscribers have access to chat, right? Then
yeah.
what about followers? Do
Um,
you
I don't care about, I mean, I care about followers, but I don't, I don't really interact with followers a lot. I mean, they see my notes, they can comment on notes, but that's about it. I don't really do anything else with my followers. I mean, yeah, I feel like those are people that maybe like to see me every now and then or like to read what I write, but they are not really, yeah, I don't think they care so much about me to subscribe, so it's not really relevant for me.
okay?
How do
And
you
then
do it? What do you do with followers?
ah, I every day I post about 5 to 10 notes,
Yeah.
and then one of the notes is always to tell them that hey, I have this free stuff. If you subscribe to me, you'll get it.
Ah,
I
okay.
a lead magnet. So and I just and every day it just goes out,
Okay.
and then I just pester them about my lead magnet
Okay. Yeah.
because that I don't really that they a very clear way of getting the stats of conversion from follower to subscriber. Of course, that I so um, so it's not something that I can verify that my method works, but to me is well, it's free. Just send out a note.
Yeah. 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 I mean, I think there are people who focus also more on followers because every now and then if I follow people, they send me a DM and saying like, "Hey, I've seen you followed along." Um,
I tried to do that, but after a while I give up because it's too much for me.
yeah. To be honest, I don't know. I don't even I don't even track my followers. I don't know how many followers I have. I care about subscribers. I think that's at least for me, that's my best metric.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Mark say, do you think there's a link to music can help listeners resonate with your note or articles? Do you think a link to music? I'm not too sure. It really depends on how you understand your your subscribers and followers. Yeah. So Mark, I this one I'm not too sure. Yeah. Okay. Uh, Claudia, how do you mind if you can share with us? Are you a good retainer of paid subscribers?
Uh, to be honest, I don't really know. Like I'm not tracking my retention rate so much. What I do is I have a very high monthly price and it's like half of the annual one, you know? So if you are staying with me for 2 months, it's already like the annual price. So I focus on people who sign up annually, yeah, who basically stay with me for at least 12 months and then they see. I can tell you that my first two subscribers that signed up stayed with me annually so far, so that I know. But the rest, to be honest, not that much. I also find it a little bit tricky to focus on retention so much on Substack. I feel, yeah, I don't know. How do you do it?
Uh, I try to. Okay, so to be fair, it's easier for me to track retention than you because I have fewer paid subscribers. But I'm soon hitting my bestseller. So
Okay, that's great.
so so I'll definitely get it this year. So that's for sure. Right. I
Yeah.
think I only need about 5 or 6 more to get my bestseller. So that's
Wow.
so. But to be fair, I have lesser to track than you.
Yeah.
So it's much easier for me to check. I only have 100 paid subscribers to check, so it's easier for me to check. Um, so what I do is I always have paid subscribers engagement, right?
Yeah.
And again, once again, to be fair, it's easier for me to interact with these few. I mean, out of the 120 or 30 are the ones that always appears, right? And then the other 70 you don't get to see them. They paid, but they don't appear, right? So
Mhm.
typically that's the percentage. 30% of your paid subscribers actually are really, really actively engaging with you. The other 70% they just pay and then they read and then they disappear. That's what I think. Yeah. So
Yeah.
end of the day, easier for me. Like, I mean, you can retain. I can truthfully tell you that easier for me to retain the 20 of them because there's only 20 of them.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think
I
it's
have no idea after the moment I hit your size of subscriber. I have no idea how I can retain them because as it gets more, I have no idea how I can manage it.
yeah. I mean, somehow also I mean, maybe that's bad advice, but I'm happy if people stay with me. Like I offer constant value for people, but I also understand that, at least in my field, of helping people get started on Substack and grow on Substack, there's only so much advice there is. So I'm kind of accepting the fact that at some part of their journey, it's okay to move on to something else and unsubscribe from me. And then I just focus on, there are people joining Substack every day and getting helping them again on starting and growing in community and so on. Um, so I think that's how I view it a bit in my case.
Yeah. So you ended your story with stop trying to be impressive, start being honest. Oh,
Mm.
this one is very interesting. For the sovereigns, for the 76, we have 76 of you now. Thank you very much. So for 76 of you viewing this, do you have anything to tell them if they have nothing? Everyone will say I have nothing interesting to talk about, right? So, uh, what advice can you tell them? Like immediately think of something, how they can structure this, how to structure something interesting when they keep saying I have nothing interesting to talk about. What's your take on
Yeah,
that?
I'd encourage them to just start sharing. I think everybody has things to share. Everybody has interesting point of views. Everybody has something to share. Maybe a little anecdote, like my once a month in my community, I do something in my chat that says, on Saturdays usually, share where you're writing from around the world, because one thing that connects us all is that we're on Substack and everybody writes, everybody's there. Um, and so, and I say, bonus points for people who share their writing setup or their morning view or whatever. And it's one of my favorite things to do with my community because it lets you give a sneak peek of who the people are, where in the world they're writing from. It's kind of connecting everybody. And it's so cute. And then I think, even if it's just that, but, share where you're writing from today, share what you see, like now I feel like I'm not in a jungle, but I'm in a very green place in Brazil. And that's interesting. It's like just it's cool to see where people are actually connecting from. And so even if you feel like you have nothing to share, let me assure you, you have things to share. And that's my that's what I would tell
Yeah,
people.
the shot of you in the jungle with the laptop, that one inspires me to take more of my workspace with my
Yeah,
laptop as well.
yeah, I love that. See, I think it's so oh, hi Claire. Cool. Claire says
That's
she's
it.
from Brazil.
Very
So
interesting. Richard asks, is the best way to monetize on Substack is helping other people with their Substack? Okay. Um, I can answer for you, no problem. Richard, this is a statistic thing, right? When you are helping people with their Substack, everybody will need your help because everybody on Substack needs help with Substack. As
yeah,
compared to, in my case, I only helping starting aspiring solopreneurs. So for sure, the percentage of people who will follow me are definitely lesser than those who are just purely helping other people with their Substack. I mean, it's a statistic probability stuff, right?
yeah.
So I hope I answer your. That is a very straightforward thing.
Yeah, I also think so. And then at the same time, if you look at the most successful Substacks out there, they're not about writing on Substack or, they write about politics or food or health is big, tech, business. Those are also things like it can all work. I do agree though that, like if you write about or if you dress writers, obviously your target group is right there and it might help you be quicker. I don't think it will help you be more successful in the long run, but it speeds things up for sure.
Yes, I also noticed that, and I mean, I seen all the subs. I check out all the Substack. You'll be surprised that the group of Substackers who have huge following, they are writing about politics.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I check out
true.
then. All right,
Yeah,
so hopefully we answer your question. All right, so
yeah.
everyone has a story. Yeah.
Maybe one more thing to add, but then since last year, even since well now it's February, so last year, um, the trendy topic to talk about is AI. And there is some like AI newsletters like having started from zero and within a couple of months they're already they are bigger than me now, like at 25,000, so it also is a matter of, what is trending right now, what do people consider helpful, yeah, so that's also something I would pay attention to.
So I don't really have advice. My word of comfort for anyone writing anything that's not related to soft or AI is that if you really have passion about what you're writing and your passion is in sharing what you know, I think just do it. I think that's more important than trying to force yourself to write about something you are really not passionate about. That's me,
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
right? Okay, so we are towards the end. Uh, I always make sure that it's within 1 hour. If last question is, looking back, would you change anything about those early days or early months when you start? We always talk about if I start from zero, what will I do differently? So this is my question
Yeah,
for
I would connect quicker to other writers. Like being an introvert, having started my journey from zero, I was very much in the mindset of like, I'll just do things on my own. I show up, I'll just write my things. And I think looking back, um, connecting, collaborating with other people earlier and quicker would have been nice to just feel less alone, to get to know other people quicker and to just get support each other. So that's one thing. And then the second part is once you're a few months in, don't be shy to start using your community chat. I feel like I've started mine too late, and now it's like really one of my biggest assets that I have such a great and awesome and active community. And I wish I would have started that even a little bit early.
How do you do your community chat?
How do I what?
How do you do your community chat? Do you just randomly ask questions, interact?
No, no, I tried that, but that doesn't really work. I do so now I have fixed times actually. So on Mondays I do usually on Mondays I do a chat just for my paid subscribers. Every Wednesday I do a boost for my free subscribers. And that's crazy. Just recently a subscriber of me told me, and she wrote a note about this, that she can't believe it, but it was Tuesday and she was waiting actively to be Wednesday for the boost to start. And that's crazy. That was never my intention but it's so nice. So people know when to expect my Wednesday boost now and are looking forward to it. And ah, that was really, really cool to see. Um,
I,
yeah,
I think very interesting about the booze as well. We can talk about
yeah,
the booze.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, and usually on the weekends, every now and then I write, yeah, but my Monday and Wednesday are the fixed ones.
yeah, I agree with I mean depending on how we structure the community chat. I remember one of my subscriber telling another non-subscriber to subscribe to my newsletter so that they can check out my chat on Thursday
Wow.
because
Nice.
because I have a structured Monday to Saturday theme, and particularly for Thursday that I tell anyone to post a link to their product offer or
Yeah,
Substack, and I will personally comment and and recommend improvements for anything that they post on in within that community chat. So
yeah,
there are actually people who subscribe to me so that they can wait for Thursday to post their link.
yeah. That's awesome. I mean, that is very cool. That's like a value proposition, that gives people right away something. So that's very cool.
Yeah, so that was like yeah, but it's very tiring to preview 20 links, but I still do it. I think I find it very meaningful. All right,
Yeah.
so yeah, so we come to the end. It's 10:57. Thank you once again, Claudia. I know you are very busy, and then you are definitely enjoying your life now. And thank you for joining me. And then, do you have any farewell words for our viewers? We have 80 now.
Yeah. And just trust the process. That's one of my favorite things. Um, yeah. So really show up, be there, connect with other humans, be human, show that you're human, and trust the process.
All right, be human, trust the process. I think I second this idea. All right. So, for those of you who just joined us, thank you for joining us in this first digital dollar project. This whole entire project will continue until June. Every week, I will introduce one contributor, post their post, and talk to them on live. And then I hope to see you guys the next one. Thank you, Claudia, for being here. All right.
Sure.
I'll see you guys. Bye. Bye.